Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Uh, so, welcome to today's seminar. Our today's speaker is Professor Sumit Mohanty from ISER Thiruvananthapuram. He has completed his PhD from IIT Bombay, IIT Kanpur with Professor A.K. Lal, and today he will speak. Yes, Sumit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh, giving this opportunity. Let me upload the. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Sorry. Okay. Let me. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. My today's talk is on distance metrics. One of in the study of distance metrics, studying the inverse and determinant is one of the direction people pursue this. Okay, before starting the result or motivation behind it, let us start with some notations. You use a standard notation that if the graph is a uh, pair of sets, vertices and edges, and you use the I tilde j to indicate the adjacency, and for degree we use delta I instead of di. Standard notation di is used, but since we are dealing with distance matrix, in this case we are using the delta I for the degree sequence, degree of a vertex I. Then recall the adjacency matrix of a graph on n vertices. The adjacency matrix is n cross n matrix where aij is denoted is 1 if there is a I adjacent to j and 0 otherwise. And for example, this fourth vertex is adjacent to 1, 2, 3, and 5. So it is like this. It was discussed in previous classes also. So I'm going a little faster. Then the other matrix is come to picture in the distance study of distance matrix. I'll come where it will come, where exactly the Laplacian this matrix will come. The Laplacian matrix. The Laplacian matrix is also an n cross n matrix. Sorry, the n cross n matrix where uh, it is defined as the diagonal matrix of degrees minus adjacency matrix. For example, in this case, the fourth the diagonal entries of degree sequence. It is 1, 1, 1, and 4, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Degree is 1. This is 4 sequence, and likewise. This matrix is very well studied matrix in the graph theory. Because it's related to the connectivity of, it gives us some geometrical property of graphs. That's why it's one of the well studied matrix in the graph theory. And from the first look itself, we can see because it is degree minus adjacency. It is a symmetric matrix, real matrix, positive semi-definite because row sum and column sum is 0, and 0 is the smallest eigenvalue with constant vector as eigenvector. And the other, next we will define the distance matrix. Given a connected graph, the metric, you can define a metric on graph G by defining dij equal to length of the shortest path between vertices I and j. And the distance matrix is dij. In the whole talk, I am only dealing with finite graphs, so all are finite matrices. So dij is if the distance matrix is denoted by dg and dij, and the ijth entry is distance between I and j, and 0 otherwise. Although this is not a good example for showing a distance matrix for a tree, because there is dij is the length between shortest path, and in case of tree is a unique path. So suppose in this case 4 and 6 have a path edge joining this. Then in this case the length between, there are two paths for 4 to 6. If I give adjacency to here, one is length 1, one is length 2. Because we are looking for shortest path, the 4, 6 entry has to be 1. If I add a entry here it is 2. So, sorry for this choice of example for digital matrix, but it is giving the smallest length between two vertices. Okay, with this definition, let us go for the existing result. What is the motive? What is the motivation behind our result? In 1971, Graham proved this. If a tree on n vertices, the determinant is given by this formula. You can see this. The determinant comes. This formula doesn't reflect doesn't say anything about how the tree looks like. Only depending on the vertex n, number of vertices n. Because of that, it's a remarkable result because it doesn't depend on the structure. It only gives you what is the number of vertices, or you can say it is number of edges, because in tree case it is n-1 edges. So only depending on that the determinant is coming up, and that's why it came to be because the paper it is published in it is not the main result is not in fact in this. The main result is something else, computing some characteristic polynomial of some matrix, but although it is a side result, but this result is much more prominent in that paper. Then in 78, Graham also proved with another author, both are not, Graham along with another authors, this one, the tree on n vertices, the inverse coming in this form. And the inverse is here, LT is the Laplacian matrix. And this tau is a column vector depending on the degree sequence like this. Since that's again people look into this result because the Laplacian matrix is coming here. Laplacian matrix and distance matrix are quite they are unrelated matrices, but still in the inverse the Laplacian matrix is coming into picture. So because of one of the reasons people started looking at this type of problem, computing inverse to get that, because why this Laplacian matrix is coming up. If we are taking other matrices and other distance matrices, other graphs, and take a distance matrices, whether that in that case also Laplacian matrix is coming or something else is coming, people started looking at that, and the first result also the determinant is independent of the structure of the graph, more or less, only depending on the vertex. So why is so? People try to, there are other direction also people looking at this, but one of the direction people consider, why such thing happening for tree? What is special thing about tree? If you take a tree, if you delete any vertex, so it is a disjoint graph. Disjoint graph. Make a two trees in fact. So, and if you take any connected subgraph of this tree also, share the same property unless the subgraph is an edge. Okay, so what exactly it says that the building block of this in a tree is edges. So people looking at in that direction. So to formally define given a graph G, if a vertex is said to be cut vertex, if G minus B, you delete the vertex and all its adjacent edges, then G minus B gives you a disjoint graph. For this graph specifically, if you delete this and all its adjacent edges, you get two graphs. One is this and another is this. So this is a cut vertex. Similarly, this is also a cut vertex, but this is not cut vertex. If you delete this and adjacent edges, the graph is not disconnected. And then a maximal subgraph for which there is no cut vertex is called block. And in case of tree, the maximal connected subgraph with no cut vertex is called an edge. So people started looking at, okay, let us replace these edges by graphs. If you replace these edges in a tree by graph, then the randomness of the structure preserved, but locally we know the structure. In this case, locally we know what is edge is. So we started looking at, okay, replace this edges, and that means replace these edges by graphs. In particular, we are interested for multipartite graph. Let us define multipartite graph. I know everybody knew it. I hope everybody knew it, but let us formally define it. Okay, I need also the complete graph definition. A graph on n vertices is called complete if each vertex of the graph is adjacent to every other vertex of this. This is an example of K5, 5 vertices. Every vertex is adjacent to every other vertex. Similarly, bipartite graph is the vertex set can be partitioned into two, such that only adjacency is only between one partition to other. If this is called bipartite graph. Last lecture, Rajesh also defined that, and it is complete if every vertex of one partition is adjacent to every other vertex of other partition. Similarly, in a multi-block graph, multipartite graph, suppose you consider m-partite graph, then the vertex set can be partitioned into m partition, and only adjacency is only between one partition to other. In a individual partition, there is no adjacency, and it is complete if the one partition is completely adjacent to other partition, just like bipartite graph. This is an example of K3-4. The size of the partition, in this particular example, the size of partition is 3 and size of partition is 4, and this complete because every partition or every vertex of this partition is adjacent to this, the second partition. So it is denoted by K3-4. So this is how the multipartite graph or complete multipartite graph notation also defined. If the vertex partition is n1 to nm, this complete multipartite graph is denoted by this. So with this definition, I again go back to this things. What exactly we are interested? We want to replace this tree, given any tree, replace this edge with a multipartite graph, complete multipartite graph. So what are the existing result is already there. In 2011, Bapat and Sivasubramaniam proved this. Whenever we replace this edges with complete graph, that means each of the blocks of the graph is a complete graph. Then they compute the determinant and inverse. After that, people are studying blocks are replaced by cycles, oriented cycles, and even in 2016, this how replaced with this complete bipartite graph. And even for weighted case also, for oriented cycles, if the weighted case also been studied. Our aim is to consider replace with this, each of the blocks should be complete m-partite graph, and we call such graph as multi-block graph. That means each block is a complete multipartite graph, and this multipartite m may be greater than equal to 2. And it's easy to see that any complete graph is also a complete multipartite graph whenever each of the partition is 1. So in a way, we are trying to extending this result of Bapat and this house result for this complete graph and block graph. So as I mentioned in the case of tree, the problem is two parts. One is to compute the determinant, second is compute the inverse. So let us look at the determinant part. In fact, in 1977, before proving the inverse for tree also, Graham proved this result. He gave a formula. If a graph, connected graph with blocks this, G1 to GB, this many blocks, he gave a formula for the determinant. Let us see what are the things this COF means. Suppose we are considering a n cross n matrix, and Bij is with this notation is deleting the ith row and jth column. Then the cofactor given by this formula, you all compute in some time in our life to determine the inverse, because cofactor matrix, sum of all this cofactor is denoted by COF of this cofactor of B. Okay. If you define like this, given a connected graph, the cofactor of the distance matrix is product of cofactor of this individual prop. That means it is similar to the case of tree, how the structure, people are not worried about. You don't need to worry about how the graph look like. If you know the individual blocks, you know the cofactor and determinant, then you can find the cofactor and determinant of the whole graph, the full graph. So in our case, the problem reduces, since we are dealing with each of the blocks is complete multipartite graph, the problem reduces to whether we need to compute the cofactor and determinant for complete multipartite graph for the case of determinant. And for the inverse, let us recall what is the tree result. Again, I already stated it. The tree, the determinant inverse, the distance matrix inverse is of this form. It's a rank 1 because this is a column vector, it's a rank 1 matrix. It's a rank 1 perturbation of Laplacian matrix. So, and people studied also getting this form. All the above, whatever the literature I have told you, they also find the inverse of this form. It's a rank 1 perturbation of a matrix L. When what is the this L and this L sharing in between them is that in case of Laplacian it is a row sum and column sum is 0. In this case also the inverse, whatever the matrix coming for this, it is also row sum column sum 0. That is the property basically sharing in case of whatever the matrix in rank 1 perturbation of is coming in this form. Whatever the common property between these two matrices are the row sum and column sum is 0. That's why it is called Laplacian like matrix in literature. And that means we need to find, our aim is to compute an inverse of this form where this mu g, because it depending on g I am writing mu g, is a column vector and lambda is a suitable constant. Okay. So basically, we need to compute these parameters, but determine the inverse. So how to compute it? So basically, if you need to, basically you need to prove these following results. You need to determine this parameter satisfying this. Suppose it's determinant of g is determinant of dg is non-zero if and only if lambda g is non-zero, and distance matrix into this mu column vector gives you this one is a constant vector of all ones, and LD plus I equal to mu of 1 transpose. If this satisfies, then you can see from the second condition, if you take a transpose of this, it will be mu transpose B transpose, but distance matrix for an undirected graph is symmetric. So this will be mu transpose of D. So mu transpose of D, then multiply both sides with 1 by lambda of mu G. Because of the first condition, because we are searching for inverse, so we are assuming determinant is non-zero, then you will get this. So from 1 and 2, you will get this. Then substituting this value here, we are basically getting this, the requisite form of our inverse. So to get the form we are interested in, basically you need these 4 parameters satisfying these three properties. What we are looking at is this quadruple distance matrix, one matrix L, Lg and mu g and lambda g satisfying these 4 properties, then we will get our desirable form, whatever the form we are interested in. But in literature it has some different notation. I don't want to make it complicated. So whenever I write this quadruple means is satisfying these 3 properties. So given a graph, we are searching for, given a graph, we need for this quadruple. If we get this quadruple, then we have the inverse of our inverse of our choice, the form we are interested in. So in 2017, this is a remarkable result by this Zhao, but original idea is in the first paper of the Bapat and Sivasubramaniam, in fact. Although Zhao is in 2011 paper, Bapat and Sivasubramaniam proved when each of the blocks are complete graphs. But in this case, he proved for any block independent of the structure. That's why it is a generalized result, but idea is more or less same. How the proof technique work in the Bapat case, this is also work here. What exactly this says? Suppose given a graph, connected graph with this many blocks, if for all blocks, if you restrict the block, each block is a subgraph, and for that subgraph, consider the distance matrix. And for each subgraph, if you have a quadruple like this, that means for each subgraph, you have an inverse of this form. That means each of the blocks satisfying this form, the inverse of satisfying this form, then it is possible to get a form like this. But I have written an additional condition here, but the choice of lambda, they basically ensure that. So it is because of the theorem statement I am writing it, but it is not needed technically. If you go through the proof in detail, then the choice of for the choice we are working with, for the lambda or the choice we are working, this is automatically going to happen for every graph. So what exactly it says, if we are able to get the requisite form, this form for individual blocks, then you will get the form for this whole matrix, whole graph, full graph G. In a way, I'll explain what are these entries are. It need little bit explanation, but in a way, what exactly because of the determinant formula, because due to the Graham and this result, in a way, it's saying that it is similar to that in a vector space. If you know the basis element how it behaves, you know how whole vector space behaves. Some linear transformation behaves in the something like that. Each of the blocks satisfying this, then you get the formula for the whole graph. I'll come to this Lambda-G. This Lambda-G is quite natural to choose. Why this Lambda-G we have chosen? Okay, let us see this. This lambda mu G is a column vector of size number of vertices in G. So since it is the same size, it is indexed by number of vertices. For each vertex, it is like this. If a vertex, take any vertex in the graph G, it is either is a cut vertex or not a cut vertex. If it is not a cut vertex, it only belongs to one block. In that case, the number of blocks it contained is 1. So this is only whatever the entries count. I will explain it in an example. It will be much more simpler. If it is a cut vertex, we are subtracting something. Number of cut vertex minus 1. Number of blocks it belongs to minus 1. But this is an undefined term. If you carefully observe that each of the blocks may not have same size. I am taking any complete imparted graph, that M may be different from different G's. So these LGs, whatever this coming up here, because this is corresponding to subgraph this, may not have same size. So this sum doesn't make sense. In what sense I am writing? I am giving you an example to explain it. Suppose we are considering this graph. This is consisting of two blocks with this cut vertex, one cut vertex. Suppose this is G1 and this is G2. For G1, you are getting LG1. This cut vertex, if you observe, this is a 7 vertex block. It is a complete tripartite graph. You can see this. This is one partition. This is one partition, and this is one partition. Each block is a complete tripartite graph. So for G1, you are getting LG1, which is a smaller size than the whole LG. You are talking about it, but you extend it by putting additional 0 to complete the same size. In this case, for G2 also you are getting this size, and in between these two matrices, only this vertex is the common edge, common row where non-zero is there. And addition is basically you are adding in the cut vertex entry. And in the case of the mu also, if I identify the 7th vertex of this block with the first vertex of this, then every other entry is exactly same. At this entry, it is addition of these two minus of k minus 1. It is two blocks are added, so it is minus 1 in this case. It is a much more, it is a more or less organic, if you think it is a some sort of direct sum of type of thing, not exactly a direct sum, but something like that. And this was, although it was proved for general case for Zhao, but originally it was first defined in the Bapat and Sivasubramanian paper, this way of doing it. Then going for the Lambda G, how the Lambda G is selected. Then recall this Graham-Pollack, we already stated this. Suppose cofactor of each of the block is non-zero. If this is happening, you take in this product, each time one block is missing, you take product of the cofactor is common, then you will get this. And because of this result, this is nothing but cofactor of whole of G, dg. So this entry basically, each of the entries corresponding to exactly one block, and this is our lambda G for each individual block, and the lambda G for whole block is summation of lambda G. And because our selection is that this cofactor of each individual block is non-zero, this is our necessary condition, otherwise you cannot define what you are doing. The cofactor is individual block is non-zero, so for all blocks, so this is non-zero. Lambda G also determinant by cofactor because you just cross multiply again. So with these choices, if we are able to establish this requisite inverse form for individual blocks, it is possible to get an inverse for this. Okay, so right now the problem reduces to, in fact, not for our problem also, to get a inverse for any graph, if you know the individual blocks entries, basically you know the full graph technically for the distance inverse and determinant case. For our case, let us we have two parts, one is determinant, one is inverse. So individual block, our individual block is complete multipartite graph. Let us see what is our individual block. Take a complete multipartite graph, consider the distance matrix. Then we compute the determinant of, turns out to be, we find the determinant is like this and cofactor is like this. So as already I observed that the lambda G for this individual block also determinant by cofactor whenever the cofactor is non-zero. There are infinite, you can find many graphs for this determinant, maybe this cofactor may be 0, that time it is not defined. We are only considering when the cofactor is non-zero. Then our lambda G for this individual block turns out to be this. The other two parameter Laplacian light matrix and mu will define, before defining, let us see if you denote this part, for simplification, because it is depending on variable n1 to nn, and in this case also, I just defined this is beta. The same entry, it is exactly the same thing what is there, and this is the gamma part is this part. If you define beta is this, that means it is depending on the parameter n1 to nm. this parameter may be anything, any m parameter you can define this function. If one of the parameter is missing, we are denoted by n hat. Here ni is missing. You are considering beta of this with this notation. Similarly for gamma also, if one of the parameter ni is missing, we denote ni hat, gamma of ni hat. With this notation, we found the distance matrix inverse turns out to be this form for any complete M-part graph. Okay. In this case, we are not worried about whether for this form, we are not worried about whether the cofactor is 0 or not. But for our requisite form, that cofactor, because lambda g is selected in such a way that cofactor is non-zero because determinant by cofactor. But this form, you don't need to be worried about the cofactor is 0 or not. And look at this form, but we are not interested in this form. And this form is, we compute it using induction on M and Sur complement. But the calculation is not straightforward. You even to establish the induction hypothesis, you need many recurrence equation involving this. It is not straightforward to get this form. It is a little bit lengthy calculation, and many what is called recurrence type of equation turns up in the computation of getting this. But you can get an exact inverse form like this. But we are not interested. We are interested in that Laplacian-like form, rank 1 perturbation of Laplacian-like. In this case, our choice for the complete M-part graph, if each partition we denoted V and I, with cardinality of this V and I is Ni. In this case, the Laplacian matrix, Laplacian-like matrix for this turns out to be this. If you be in the same block, same partition, but in the diagonal entries are like this, non-diagonal entries are like this, and non-diagonal blocks are like this. Non-diagonal entries are two different partitions turns out to be this. And the column vector, the mu g for complete M-part graph turns out to be this. This looks very complicated sum, but it is not exactly, because any vertex corresponding to only one partition. So this sum only contribute once. For writing in a proper way, you have to use this notation, but basically depending on the which component it belongs, that's why you have to write it. It's not that complicated, and this gamma is exactly what we have defined here, beta and gamma here. For this choice of L, mu and this lambda for complete multipartite graph, we get this form for each individual block. So since we are getting inverse for each individual block for this choice, from this result of Zhao, basically we are getting inverse for whole graph. Distance inverse matrix inverse turns out to be of this following form. But as I told you that we are basically extending the result of Bappert and this Zhao's paper. When Bappert we are dealing with complete multipartite graph, a complete graph, when each block is a complete graph, and Zhao, how did it for whenever each block is a bipartite graph. But in that case, the determinant and our definition, our result for determinant agrees with both. If you put m equal to 2, you get the formula for bipartite. All ni is equal to 1 for get the formula for complete graph. But in case of complete bipartite case, or in case of complete graph, there is no graph which determinant and cofactor is 0 if n is greater than the number of vertices greater than 2. And in case of complete bipartite graph, only K22 is the only graph for which the determinant and cofactor is 0. So in the choice, whenever you are selecting for the blocks, you just remove one K22, your result is true. But in this case, whenever you go for m greater than equal to 3, be then when the determinant and cofactor is going to be 0 come to the picture. So you can, some of the things can be directly observed. If I choose my all of the ni is equal to 2, sorry, not all, any 2 ni's are 2, then this is 0, because, and this entry is also 0, and same true for cofactor also. If all the ni's are strictly greater than 2, then also this is positive, this is positive, so determinant is non-zero and cofactor is non-zero. If all the entries are 1, then also it is complete graph, the determinant cofactor is non-zero. If you take exactly 1, 2, then this term is vanishes, only one term survives, so determinant and cofactor is non-zero. So since if I take any two ni's are 2, then the cofactor is 0. There are infinitely many graphs, complete M-partite graph for which determinant and cofactor is going to be 0. So we cannot, just like in the bi-block graph or block graph, when the Bapat did it and this how did it for getting the inverse, we cannot select any block. There are lots of restrictions for this whenever you are going for n greater than equal to 3. So the other result, which is not a, because in their results it is, these cases are not coming to picture. For complete multipartite graph, we basically able to characterize when exactly the determinant will go into 0. In this case, either two of the partitions is of size 2, or you can see this, because all other cases we covered. The only possible cases it is 0 if none of the ni's are 2, some of the ni's are 1, and others are strictly greater than 1. So basically, how many partitions of size 1 needed to be make determinant 0? We are able to say that in this, if the number of ni's for which, that is basically it is lies between m by 2, half to 3 by 4th of the partitions has to be 1, and others are strictly greater than 2, and whatever the strictly greater than 2 partition size need to satisfy this equation. Similarly, for cofactor also give a characterization when the determinant and when the cofactor is going to be 0. These are if and only if conditions. In fact, for every L in this partition, we can say it. Take any, if we choose any L in this partition, it is possible to find ni's satisfying this. So we can find a complete multipartite graph for which the determinant is 0. So it is a complete characterization when all when exactly the determinant cofactor can be 0 in a complete multipartite graph. For m greater than equal to 3, for 2 it is only 2, 2. Using this result, if you recall, our lambda g for complete multipartite is determinant by cofactor. Using this result, it is possible to show there are infinitely many complete multipartite graph with cofactor is non-zero. You have to take, because otherwise lambda g is not defined. Lambda g is determinant by cofactor. So it is possible to choose infinitely many, possible to find infinitely many complete multipartite graph where this lambda g is negative, and positive also similar assertion, but this is immediately follows from this observations. But for this you need proof. There are infinitely many multipartite graph which is 0. You need a proof, and little bit long, so I'm not writing it, but not difficult. It is a simple proof, but little bit long. So keeping in this thing mind, let observe one thing. In a multi-block graph, that means each of the blocks are complete M-partite graphs. We are choosing our lambda g to be sum of the lambda gi individual blocks. We just observe something. This lambda g can be positive, can be negative, and can be 0. So this something may be positive entry, something may be negative entry, even though individual lambda gi's may not be 0 at all. But if this sum is 0, then lambda g is 0, because our selection in the choice of definition of lambda g in such a way that lambda g determinant lambda g is non-zero if and only if the determinant is non-zero. So what exactly I want to say, we can find infinitely many multi-block graph when individual blocks determinant cofactor may not be 0, but the multi-block graph determinant is 0. So what exactly I want to say, sorry, even though the inverse form exists here for individual block, but to get this form, you may get that this graph distance matrix for the determinant for this matrix may be 0. It is possible. We have constructed infinitely many graphs for which this property is satisfied. So basically, there are infinitely many graphs where the individual blocks determinant cofactor may not be 0, but the determinant of the graph is 0. So inverse may not possible at all. And all these results are in this paper. It is in the archive right now, and some of the references I have used here. And thank you. Any question if you want?
For presentation, the Anas final madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello,
I
sir.
can hear you. I can hear you. Rajesh, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Sumit. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, can we connect the eigenvalues of this graph with the blocks, sir? The eigenvalues of the blocks. Is there any such relation?
I have not seen such literature, but this thing can be considered, because recently I think one Professor Balaji and Bapat and Sibani Goel did something on wheel graph. They didn't do this block structure, but they're dealing with block graph and they showing some interlacing properties. They are showing something should be come up, but I have not seen in the block structure as such. But the Laplacian, some interlacing property they have used recently.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. In fact, if you, I want to mention one more thing. Okay, sorry. Yeah, look at this block structure specifically. If one of the cofactor is 0, exactly one cofactor is 0, then only one term survives here in the determinant case. The method we have used when all of the cofactor is non-zero. But if exactly one cofactor is 0, this determinant may not be 0. So the distance matrix may have inverse, but will not get in this form. This rank 1 perturbation is not possible. It is possible to show that the this rank 1 perturbation of Laplacian like matrix, this form is not possible. It is will not get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Okay. Okay. If there is no other question, let us thank Sumit for his interesting talk. Yeah. Sumit.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sumit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please send the slide sometime. I will circulate.
Yeah. I'll send it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. And see you next week. Yeah.
See you.